My name is Melanie Derrick. I am a physical therapist assistant. I am here to take you through the exercises after your anterior total hip replacement. The first exercise we'll begin with are the ankle pumps. I would like you to pull your toes towards you as much as you can and push them down towards the floor as much as you're able to. The next exercise will be the quad sets. You will push your knee into the chair, hold for 5 seconds, and release. You can tell you're doing this exercise correctly by your knee going down into the chair. The next exercise will be the glute sets. I want you to squeeze your bottom for 5 seconds and release. You can tell you're doing this exercise correctly because you will raise out of the chair. The next exercise will be the hill slides. I am going to place this board under your operated leg. At home, you can use a cookie sheet or a cutting board. With this exercise, I want you to bend your knee as much as you can, sliding your heel up the board. Make sure you're keeping your leg in a neutral position. Just a reminder, you do not want to break a 90-degree angle due to your posterior hip precautions. As you do this exercise, see if you can gradually increase the flexion each time. The next exercise will be the short arc quads. I am going to place this bolster under the operated leg. At home, you can take 2 or 3 towels, roll them up and place it under your knee, typically 8 inches in diameter. Your knee stays on the bolster. I want you to raise your leg as much as you can. Hold that for 5 seconds at the top and come down to the chair. Nice and slow. The next exercise will be long arc quads. You will leave your thigh positioned on the chair, lift your operated leg up as much as you can. Hold that for 5 seconds at the top and come all the way to the floor. Now we are going to talk about positioning and icing after your anterior total hip replacement. After your total hip replacement, you want to keep your operated leg in a neutral position. You want to avoid any external rotation. To help control swelling, you want to keep your legs elevated. For additional elevation, you can add a pillow under your legs. Icing is very important after your total hip replacement. You want to ice the hip as needed throughout the day, especially after therapy. To hold the ice pack in place, you can take a towel roll or fold a pillow over and place it. Now we will talk about the anterior total hip precautions. There are 3 precautions after your total hip replacement. The first precaution is no active hip abduction. You do not want to swing your operated leg out to the side. When getting out of bed, you want to keep your legs close together instead of swinging the operated leg out to the side. The second precaution is no hyperextension. So you do not want to take an exaggerated step backwards with your operated leg. If you need to step backwards, just take small steps back. The third precaution is no external rotation. If you need to turn to the right towards your operated side, you would take small steps using your walker instead of pivoting on the operated leg. Now we are going to talk about bed mobility after your anterior total hip replacement. After your anterior total hip replacement, you want to keep in mind one of your precautions is no active hip abduction. So an important reminder is you want to keep your legs together as you're getting out of bed. You do not want to swing your operated leg out to the side. When getting back into bed, you want to bring your legs in together. Now we're going to talk about transfers and walking. Let's first go over the correct way to use the rolling walker. With the walker, you want to stay in the center of it while walking. You do not want to have the walker too far ahead, and you do not want to have the walker too close to you where it may throw you off balance. With the sequencing after surgery, the walker goes first, your operated leg, and then you step with your good leg. I'm going to bring the walker to you. When you go to stand, you want to push up from what you're sitting on. If you pull on the walker, you're just going to fall back to the bed. So you want to push up with both hands from the bed. Reach for the walker one hand at a time and stand up straight. Now let's walk to the chair. The walker will go first, your operated leg, and then your good leg. Walker, operated leg, and good. Walker, operated leg, and good. And we're going to turn and sit in this recliner. When you go to sit, you want to back up until you feel the chair behind you. Once you feel the chair behind your legs, you're going to take one hand at a time, reach back for the armrest of the chair. Slide your operated leg forward as you sit, and sit slowly. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it was very informative and you have a speedy recovery.